Hello, everyone. Today, we will continue with the study of the 7-limb offering, and that is the fourth, which is rejoicing. Rejoicing means that we rejoice in all of the merit, be it your own or that of others. So we should rejoice and take joy in all kinds of merit. Even if we don't participate in those virtuous deeds, when we rejoice in it, it will be the same as having participated in it. Therefore, this is very beneficial for us when we want to accumulate merit. Rejoicing is an antidote to jealousy that is within our mind streams. So we rejoice when we want to use it. We rejoice in order to get rid of the jealousy in our mind stream. Today over here, on page 15, unconfined by the cage of dualistic grasping, I rejoice from within the state of sameness. The meaning of these lines is, from my understanding, the reason why we are jealous of other people is because of dualism, discriminating between two, like the self and the other. So when we have this thinking of separating the self and the other, and that becomes deepened, more and more serious, then our mind will be trapped in this kind of contrivance, and we wouldn't be able to attain equanimity. So in order to rest in equanimity, then it is not possible for us to feel jealousy at all. So all of the virtuous actions of others, their offerings, etc., we can rejoice in that. Fifth of the 7-limb offering is request to turn the wheel of dharma. It mainly is an antidote for our ignorance. Because of our ignorance, that is why, for instance, when it comes to mind training, how do we train the mind? We wouldn't know. And therefore, to be able to purify our ignorance, we've got to request the gurus to turn the wheel of the Dharma. And gradually, they'll be able to purify all of the different kinds of ignorance within our mind streams. So on page 16 of the liturgy, set ablaze the torch of wisdom for the sake of beings who are enveloped by the darkness of ignorance. So why is it that we request for the turning of the wheel of the Dharma? It is because sentient beings are ignorant. Because we're ignorant, then how then do we purify this ignorance? So in front of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas and the gurus, we request that they turn the wheel of the Dharma. We depend on their wisdom to rid ourselves of our ignorance. So in the process of learning the Dharma, we have to listen, contemplate, and practice So firstly, we've got to listen to the Dharma teachings. Then we've got to contemplate on the meaning of the Dharma teaching. Then we practice it in our daily lives. That is practice, isn't it? So to have wisdom from listening, contemplation, and practice, the wisdom comes from firstly, it lies in the foundation of listening to the Dharma teachings. That is why we request the gurus to turn the wheel of the Dharma. And through this way, then throughout all of our lifetimes, we'll be able to meet with the Dharma teachings and therefore be able to develop the wisdom that is within us. And the sixth of the seven limb prayer on page 17. The sixth is requesting the gurus to remain for a long time. And the lines are, may myself and others have the merit and good fortune for your life to be firm and everlasting. That is requesting the gurus to remain for a long time. And this is an antidote to all kinds of wrong views. For instance, disrespecting the guru. This will be able to purify that or be an antidote for that. Why do we need to request the gurus to remain for a long time? It is because the gurus are here for the sake of sentient beings. So the guru in the Dharmakaya form does not cease, does not arise and does not cease. So it is not possible for the guru to not be there because the guru is like space. However, the manifestation of our guru, his form, so his emanations or his manifestations appear according to the different needs or capacities of sentient beings. And they emanate and appear so that we are able to develop our wisdom. And so that is why we request the gurus to remain for a long time. That is the sixth part of the prayer. Now for the seventh, on page 18. May the virtue gathered through meditation and so forth turn into the benefit for all mother sentient beings. That is the dedication of merit. Dedication is an antidote for our attachment, our selfishness, especially for selfishness. So it's an antidote for the selfishness within our mind streams. On the surface, for example, some people may be doing all kinds of virtuous deeds, but if in our mind, if we don't contemplate deeply, there is definitely a certain measure of selfishness. For instance, oh, today I have done this virtuous deed so that in future I can receive the results or the fruit of it. I might become rich, I might become powerful, or perhaps I'll be able to enjoy all of the good things in the human life or in the human realm. So it is possible that we might think of that. So we don't think that, you cannot really say that this mind training is purely selfish, of course. But in the process of mind training, firstly, we need to take a look at our motivation. Attaining the Buddhahood, of course, is the greatest and the most precious of the results of our training. When we attain that result, what is the goal though? Why do we want to attain that? It is not so that I am able to receive this result, attain great bliss, and enjoy this great bliss. That is not the goal. So when we're training our mind, firstly, we need to think that I want to attain Buddhahood because I want to liberate all sentient beings, all of the mother sentient beings. But now I'm just an ordinary being. I don't have the capability. Therefore, in order to benefit all sentient beings, I need to attain Buddhahood. Only then would I be capable of liberating sentient beings. So the motivation of our mind training is really bodhicitta, of the altruistic mind. So when we're practicing, we shouldn't think that, oh, part of the merit, I want to keep it for myself alone. And then this other part I will dedicate to all sentient beings. Don't do it in this way. Everything that we do, all of the virtuous deeds that we do, we dedicate to all sentient beings. So this helps in terms of purifying our self-grasping. And we're able to accumulate the merit of benefiting sentient beings. In the Fivefold Mahamudra path, Lord Jigten Sumgun had also often mentioned that without proper dedication, then our virtuous deeds might not be able to lead to our Buddhahood. Lord Jigten Sumgun had said that we have been through so many different lifetimes within cyclic existence and have done so many virtuous deeds. However, why is it that we still haven't attained Buddhahood? Because we haven't done proper dedication. That is why we haven't attained Buddhahood. Therefore, dedication is very important. And so that is the content for the 7-limb prayer. These lines, I offered them to Gauchin Rinpoche when I was in Lapchi previously. Although I didn't use really beautiful language, but at this point, it is really from my sincerest feelings, and I made that offering to the Guru. And the Guru is also really compassionate. Guru allowed me to have this opportunity to accumulate merit, and that is why he put these lines within this liturgy. So I'm deeply grateful for the Guru's compassion. The following line is a supplication to Gauchin Rinpoche. This is written by Ati Rinpoche. And he is a great teacher in Lapchi. And so he wrote the supplication to Gauchin Rinpoche. In that supplication, on page 20, fully realized in the unfabricated Dhammakaya of self-awareness, your unconditional love pervades all beings in the universe. This is how I understand this line. In the supplication to Rinpoche, what I believe is that the Buddha has the 4 kayas. In the Mahamudra, the Fivefold Mahamudra path, there is the 4 kayas of the Guru, practice. So this fits perfectly with that practice. So the first part refers to the Dharmakaya when it says fully realize in the unfabricated Dharmakaya of self-awareness. At this point, Adi Rinpoche, within this line, he's saying that because Gauchin Rinpoche has already realized the nature of his mind, that is, he has already recognized the emptiness and clarity, the nature of the mind. That in itself is Dharmakaya. So that is why he wrote this from that point of view. And then your unconditional love pervades all beings in the universe. What this means, from my point of view, is from the emptiness, the state of emptiness, he manifests unconditional love, unconditional loving kindness and compassion that surpasses all of the loving kindness and compassion that we ordinary beings create. So this love pervades all beings in that it is equal to all. So our mind has three characteristics or qualities. First is emptiness. Emptiness is Dharmakaya. Then clarity is compassion, loving kindness and compassion. And because of emptiness, that is why the loving kindness and compassion is unfabricated and it appears or manifests naturally. So from the point of view of the four kayas, this is the Sambhoga Kaya. So that is how you can understand these lines. Then the next line on page 21. With boundless enlightened acts, you train sentient beings according to their needs. Ngedun Tenpe Nima, son of the teachings of the Absolute Truth, I supplicate you. So the part that says, with boundless enlightened acts, you train sentient beings according to their needs. And that is from the Nirmanakaya form. So we mentioned that why is it that we want to attain Buddhahood? It is to liberate sentient beings. And in order to liberate sentient beings, you need different ways. So you've got to, when you're liberating sentient beings, Guru Gauchin Rinpoche appears as Nirmanakaya form in order to liberate different sentient beings. Then in the next line it says Nidon Tenpe Nima. So what it means is Gauchin Rinpoche is Dhammakaya, Sambhogakaya, Nirmanakaya, all three in union, and he emanates all these three together as one, and that is the Swabhavika Kaya. And that is how we supplicate to the Guru, the four Kayas. So Niden Tenpe Nima is the name for Gauchin Rinpoche, and when we translate this name, it means son of the teachings of the Absolute Truth. Sometimes, in order to liberate sentient beings, one might be teaching them something that is more ultimate, or perhaps something that's more esoteric. So if we think of it from the point of view of the ultimate versus the relative, we're looking at this from the ultimate perspective. And what it is that it is especially focused on the mind, like Mahamudra and the Dzogchen. So it is about the nature of mind, or perhaps these teachings, these ultimate teachings are on emptiness. So these are the more absolute truth. So if we want to classify them, there are the two bodhicittas. First is the relative bodhicitta, second is the ultimate bodhicitta. That is, when we combine it with mind training, then it is really bodhicitta. So we begin with the relative bodhicitta, which is to have loving kindness and compassion to benefit sentient beings. We've got to develop such a mind. From the ultimate perspective, we've got to understand the nature of our mind as emptiness and clarity, and abide within this non-duality of Mahamudra. That is the supplication to Gauchin Rinpoche, and that is written by Adin Rinpoche. Adu Rinpoche. This supplication prayer has great blessings. So when we're practicing the Guru Yoga, we have to recite it 3 times or 7 times. From my perspective, whether you recite it 3 times or 7 times, the main point is we've got to understand the meaning of it. Then we recite the supplication prayer. In this way, it'll be very beneficial for our mind stream. So what is the goal of practicing the Guru Yoga? It is to increase the faith we have towards our Guru. So we see that the Guru as inseparable from all of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Based on such an understanding, then when we do the practice, it'll be really beneficial to us. Once you've recited these lines, we go on to the next couple of lines. And here, we visualize the Guru. We visualize that at the navel, there is a sun disk, and then there is a white home, which we visualized earlier. So now we're going to recite the mantra. And this is how we visualize when we need to recite the mantra. Page 23, at the navel upon the sun disk is the mantra garland revolving clockwise. From it, the light of emptiness and compassion radiates, makes offerings to all the Buddhas. So now, after having visualized the home syllable, then there is the mantra garland. And that is the mantra that Rinpoche had just recited. That's on page 25. So at the navel chakra, there is the mantra garland, Om Aguru Ratna Deva Za Mahamudra Siddhi Palahum, and it rotates. It rotates in the clockwise way. For some, the rotation is anti-clockwise, some is clockwise. There are many different ways, but for today's visualization, that is the clockwise rotation. So we've got to visualize in this way. So in our mind, we visualize the mantra garland revolving clockwise. So one way of visualizing is that we visualize the light radiating to all the 10 directions, and they become offerings to all of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. And then the light returns to the mantra and receive the blessings from all of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas from the 10 directions. Then on page 24, and purifies the karmas, afflictions, negativities, and habitual tendencies of sentient beings, think that the universe and beings become a field of all-embracing purity. When we are visualizing and reciting, it has two functions. First is making offerings to the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, and that helps us in accumulating merit and purifying our obscurations. At the same time, when light radiates out, it says here very clearly, it is not any kind of ordinary light. It is the light of emptiness and compassion. And this light radiates onto all sentient beings. In the place where we live in, so the external phenomena, all of the sentient beings within the external world, all the beings within the 6 realms, when the light falls on them, then of course sentient beings have all kinds of different afflictions. They have the afflictive obscurations, they have the cognitive obscurations, negative karma. So this light of emptiness and compassion, when it radiates to the sentient beings, then these sentient beings will be purified of all of their obscurations. And when the light shines on all of the external world, then everything becomes very pure. Everything is pure, like pure land. For instance, if this land radiates to the hell realm, then all hell realm beings will be purified of all of their negativities and obscurations. And then it becomes less of a cruel place, but more of a pure place. So when we visualize the light radiating out and then coming back, in actual fact, that is a training for our bodhicitta, our altruistic mind. If we continuously practice or visualize in this way, then at any time, anywhere, you will have the mind to benefit others. So whenever we visualize the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, we have respect within our mind, and that's able to increase the respect and faith in our minds. And when we visualize benefiting other sentient beings, we'll be able to increase our loving kindness and compassion. So when we visualize in this way, the light, the revolving of the mantra and the light radiating out, this is actually a skillful means of Vajrayana. It makes use of different points of views, different ways to help increase and purify the different qualities of our mind. Today we'll conclude at this point. Tomorrow we will continue with the last couple of parts. That is the completion and also the dedication. That concludes today's teachings. Thank you all.